Anytime I'm asked to explain to home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, what does it take to buy a house, I always come back to it takes these three things to make the financial purchase happen. 1, the down payment. 2, the prepaid items. And 3, closing costs. Now, some of these fees, some of these amounts might be names or categories you've heard of before. However, let's look at what each one means. So, for example, a down payment. That's typically the difference between the purchase price and the financing amount. That difference in here is what a down payment is. You've probably heard of zero down. There are some programs like that if you qualify. And of course, 3.5%, 5%, 10%, 15, 20, all sound like numbers you've probably heard of as far as percent down as well. Many different types of financing programs, but that's what a down payment is. Closing costs, you've probably heard that name before as well. But what are closing costs? Closing costs are all the fees it would take to get that property out of the name of the seller and put it into the buyer's name. So they would be things such as transfer tax, recording fees for courthouses and various things, attorney's fees, any sort of carrier fees to get paperwork back and forth. Okay, that would be closing costs, all the fees it would take to get it out of our name into your name, recorded at the courthouse. And the third thing you would need is what we call prepaid items. Now, prepaid items essentially establish your escrow account. So it's the money that you would be spending every month already probably escrowed into your mortgage, but they collect the first year, the first months, or in some cases the first couple days up front. So for example, at settlement, if you settle at the 15th of the month, then you have about 15 days left of interest to still pay. If you settle on the 30th of the month, you might very well only have 1 day worth of interest to pay. That's a prepaid item. Same thing, getting your homeowner's insurance for the first year, State Farm, Nationwide, whoever you get your insurance from, traditionally you're going to have to pay that first year homeowner's insurance policy up front just prior to settlement. Then you give the receipt to the bank and they would escrow for it every month and pay it next year. So in other words, you have prepaid the first year. Down payment, closing cost, prepaid items. Combined, they equal total cash needed to move in. For first-time homebuyers, that's really the number to look at. Sure, you might have $10,000 down, but how much cash do you have to work with? Is it $10,000, in which case you can't use all of it for a down payment if you got to cover some of the others. So with those three things, they matter most for first-time homebuyers: down payment, closing cost, and prepaid items. If you have any more questions on things like that, feel free to reach out to your real estate professional or myself, Steve Turner of thesteveturner.com, top agent here in Central Pennsylvania. I look forward to taking great care of you.